I am thrilled that the American Bar Association section of Civil Rights and Social Justice has decided to recognize Richard Soden with the Father Drinan Award. I hope in granting this acknowledgement, we may memorialize just a bit the appreciation that we have for all of Richard's extraordinary contributions to the section, to our association, to the profession, and to our nation. It is appropriate that we take this moment to show what his leadership meant to us.
Richard was a trailblazer in the legal profession and a cornerstone of the Goodwin community for over 5 decades.
From serving in the ABA House of Delegates to receiving the ABA Spirit of Excellence Award. Indeed, he was a shining star.
Richard was a man of principle, grounded and rooted like a tree in his core beliefs.
One hallmark of Richard's life was to ensure the inclusion of all in the legal profession.
Richard broke barriers as the first African-American partner at a major Boston law firm. This achievement alone paved the way for other attorneys of color to advance.
At the time, Richard was the only lawyer of color out of 100-plus lawyers at Goodwin.
He blazed the trail, made the path clear behind him for others to follow, and he always paid everything forward.
Richard made me a better leader. He made me a better lawyer. And as I continue to grow in our profession, I hope to be to young lawyers and other leaders what Richard was for me.
Richard was one of a kind. He was, first of all, just about the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
There was one constant, and it was that he was always himself. He was always the best version of himself.
And he had this way of making everyone feel seen and heard, and of cutting through the noise to focus on what really mattered.
And he was not afraid to speak up with the courage of his convictions.
By example, he reminded us that leadership requires courage and the willingness to make hard calls, even when it was not popular.
When many others would have probably stepped back, Richard stepped up.
He walked the walk, and he did the things that counted without ever expecting that anyone was counting them.
Richard showed us that we can confront our personal demons and become better versions of ourselves.
Making a safe space for lawyers to face their challenges and to seek help is one of Richard's truly exceptional legacies.
He cared deeply about people, and for that, he will live forever in our hearts, and he will always be missed.
Richard Soden was a rock for the section of Civil Rights and Social Justice.
Richard kept us focused on the serious nature of our work, on how much this section is needed by the ABA and the organized bar at large, and therefore why we needed to roll up our sleeves and get to work.
He would take on tasks that nobody else wanted or could do, having to do with finances, for example.
Richard took the hard job, and he was budget officer of our section, the only job in our section that has no term limits, because once we find somebody like Richard, we do not let him go.
Richard was devoted to the section, and he exemplified its ideals. I believe he would have been gratified to be inducted into the Drinan Award family, and I only wish he could have been here to share this moment with us.
Richard, I'm going to miss you, but you'll be happy to know that I'm still going to be working every day to pay it forward, just like you taught me.
You were my guiding star at the ABA. You made sure everyone's voice was heard, no assumption left unquestioned, and no opportunity to do the right thing left undone.
I know that the dedication and impact you had on the section will live on forever, and that those of us who have worked with you will continue to do the work that you were so dedicated to.
Presenting this year's Father Drinan Award to Marcia on your behalf is not just an acknowledgement of your incredible service, it's a promise to carry your mission forward.
To Richard's family and friends, thank you for sharing him with us and allowing us to be part of his life and his life's work.
The best tribute is for all of us to live by his example and to continue the work that remains unfinished.